What is up, Star Wars fans? This is Darth Watts, and in this video, we are going to be talking about a canceled Star Wars movie that was canceled quite a few years ago that was just confirmed over the past week. It has just been confirmed. And Steven Soderbergh presented a script to Lucasfilm and Disney about a possible story that would take place after Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, and it would have showed Ben Solo being brought back to life, and Ben Solo would become Ben Solo once again. But Bob Iger and Lucasfilm rejected the script that Steven Soderbergh presented, and Adam Driver, who was portraying Ben Solo, was in on it as well for the script. So it was Adam Driver and Steven Soderbergh that wanted this movie to happen after the rise of Skywalker. And Adam Driver said he's open to being in another Star Wars movie. And there's been people building a campaign around the Hunt for Ben Solo movie that would take place after the events of the Rise of Skywalker. And it looks like this has pissed off a lot of people. A lot of people are pissed off about this film being rejected because this film could have been a success. We have reylo fans. This would piss off the reylo fans, especially for those people who wanted reylo to happen, a Rey and Ben Solo romance. Now, it is possible if they do decide to bring back Ben Solo back to life, but if Ben Solo doesn't come back to life, then the Reylo romance would not happen. The only Reylo thing that we saw was at the end of The Rise of Skywalker, where Ben Solo passes on. He dies at the end of The Rise of Skywalker. His life essence has been totally drained, and he passes away, giving the last of his essence to Rey, and then Ray ends up becoming the Jedi Master at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, and the kiss between Ray and Ben Solo was the only Reylo thing that we saw, and it's the closest to Reylo that we'll ever get, unless they do a Ben Solo movie that would take place right after the Rise of Skywalker that would revive Ben Solo once again. And then, yeah, Reylo romance is totally open. But as far as right now, this film is probably not going to be the film that's going to happen unless Bob Iger changes his mind, and if Star Wars fans campaign enough about it. But there's been a lot of Star Wars fans that have been ca- ca- campaigning for this film to happen. So we'll wait and see what happens. Now, I didn't think Reylo was going to happen in the end of at when the rise before the Rise of Skywalker came out, but now that a few years after the Rise of Skywalker, after I saw the Reylo kiss, I realized something that both non-Reylo fans and Reylo fans are both right from a certain point of view. And a certain point of view is that people were saying the other half of the fandom did not want Reylo to happen, and then the other half of the fandom did want Reylo to happen. But uh but it sounds like it was something that kind of showed that both sides of the fandom were right from a certain point of view. Not please both sides of the fandom, because there was also a lot of backlash on the sequel trilogy and the Rise of Skywalker. But the closest thing we ever got to a Reylo thing was that kiss between Rey and Ben Solo at the end of the Rise of Skywalker. But as far as this film, The Hunt for Ben Solo, goes, for as of right now, this could be a possibility in the future, but as of right now, it's not the story that we're gonna get as of right now, and I can see why a lot of Star Wars fans are pissed off about it. I can also see why that Disney and Lucasfilm might have canceled this film as well, but that's going to be a topic for a future video. I'm going to do a couple follow-up videos on this because this is a huge deal for all Star Wars fans, not just reylo fans, but for all Star Wars fans, for all people who wanted Ben Solo to still be alive after the events of the Rise of Skywalker. I wanted Ben Solo to still be alive after the events of the Rise of Skywalker because my biggest complaint about the Rise of Skywalker and the entire sequel trilogy is we didn't explore enough of Ben Solo. All we explored was the Kylo Ren character when he fell to the dark side and became Kylo Ren. We didn't really get to explore much of the character of Ben Solo, and that is my biggest complaint about the sequel trilogy, is that we didn't we didn't explore enough of it. But as far as everything else goes, the hunt for Ben Solo, hopefully it'll happen at some point. Hopefully there will be something that will get this film to eventually happen, but as of right now this is not the story that we're going to get. Ben Solo remains dead, and that's all I have to say for this video. Do make sure to smash a like, subscribe, comment, and I will catch you all later in another video.